Today I have 5 fabulous projects using IOD's new summer release. Welcome to the Chic Show. Today's collaboration is with 7 of my friends, and we're all using IOD's new summer release. We do have a special giveaway today as well, so be sure and continue watching so you can get the details on that. Alright, let's jump right in. First up, we have a beautiful candle holder. It's super easy to make. You'll need a glass candle holder and IOD's Gilded etiquette transfers. Start by cutting the transfer that fits your candle holder. My candle holder is from Dollar Tree. These Gilded transfers work just like the regular transfers, only you do need to move just a little bit slower while rubbing them on. Once I had decided on the placement of my transfer, I removed the backing and placed the transfer down onto my glass and began rubbing. I mentioned that there's a giveaway in this collaboration. There are actually 2 giveaways, so make sure that you watch each and every video from beginning to end and comment on each video to be entered. You will have until the 16th to enter. Once I pulled that backing paper back, I went ahead and burnished over it just as you would a normal transfer, and look at how gorgeous this is. When you apply a transfer to glass or a mirror, you do not need to seal it. Think how beautiful these will be at Christmas. Next, how about creating a keepsake box? All you need is a wooden box. I thrifted mine. The first order of business will be to remove these stickers and also to remove the paper that is on top. I'll be painting the inside and the outside of the box. The paper did not want to come off very easily, so I just used a wet paper towel and let it sit on top of the box until I could scrape off the paper. Once that paper has been removed, I'm going to unscrew the hinges so that I can remove the top. I'm going to be using this paint inlay called Delft Traditions in Azure for this particular project. Now I'm going to be coating the inside of the box with this fusion paint. The paint inlays that I'm going to put on the outside of the box will need chalk paint. I also painted the inside of the top of the box in this same fusion paint. For the box part, I started with the inside edge of the box and I gave it a coat of Waverly chalk paint and plaster. For the inside top of the box, I'm going to be using IOD's ephemeral stamps. It's a beautiful French text and script that can be used for a variety of projects. And now for the magic of paint inlays. For the paint inlay, you do want to use chalk paint, and I did give this a base coat, and then I put on another coat. And while the paint is wet is when you want to apply your paint inlay. I did pre-cut my paint inlays to all surfaces of the box. And what I'm going to do here is give it a spritz of water on the paint side, and then you're going to place the paint inlay paint side down, grid side up. I did use my little roller to roll over the paint inlay, and then I let it dry completely. For the other sides of the box, I did the same thing. I gave it a coat of chalk paint I spritzed the paint inlay with water, and then I placed it paint side down. And I continue on with the other 3 sides. I set this aside to dry. I made sure I had another project to work on so that I would not be tempted to move too quickly with this piece. Now that it is completely dry, I'm going to go back and spritz it with water once again, wait for about 30 seconds, and then I will pull the paper up. And how beautiful is that? Now I'm going to set this paint inlay aside so that it can dry paint side up, and this can be reused a couple of more times. Now moving on to the box itself, I spritz it with water, let it sit 30 seconds, and then pull that paper up. And here is a final look at this beautiful little keepsake box. Now let's move on to my favorite. I found this little oval box at a thrift store for 95 cents. Now it is paper, and I'm not going to try and rip all the paper off because I think there wouldn't be much left of the box if I did. So I am going to paint it. I'll be using Fusion paint in paisley and casement. So the bottom part I'm going to be painting in Fusion paint in casement. The top will get a coat of Fusion paint in paisley. It's a beautiful blue color. And I'm using lots of blue today because these items are going in my bedroom, and I have a lot of blue in my bedroom. And once again, I'm using IOD's ephemeral type stamp for this project. When you first open your stamps, you do want to season them, and by that I mean take a little sandpaper, go over all of the stamps so that they're not quite so smooth and they will actually hold the ink a little bit better. I failed to hit record when I was inking the stamp, but I just inked a stamp like you would any other, and I left all of the stamps on the backing because I want to roll this box all the way across the stamp, and then I will move it and roll it across the other side. That's the great thing about this particular stamp. You can use it as one huge stamp, or you can pull the stamps up and use them on individual projects. Now for the top, I did go back and use something from the spring release, which is this little crown from the Mercantile stamp, and also the other stamp is from their Wreath Maker stamp from quite a while ago. But this is what I wanted on the center of my lid. And to give this a little bit more of a glamorous look, I used a little bit of Rub and Buff with a small brush, and I colored in parts of the crown and used my fingers to go around the edge of the lid. And here's a look at how I styled it in my bedroom. For this project, I'll be using the rub-on transfers called Fairy Tale Florals. I thrifted a couple of silver pieces and one I paid $1.91 for, and then the other one was $1.21. I'm going to be using these fairy tale florals on these two silver pieces. This rub-on transfer has a very dreamy look, as if they were lifted straight out of a vintage book. I love the shape of this oval silver piece, and I chose a few flowers that would fit into this space nicely. I wanted to display this upright this way rather than horizontal. And just as a reminder, one of the giveaways today is this Fairy Tale Florals booklet. The other giveaway is a gift card to L&J Goods. And once again, I'm using the backing sheet to burnish in the rub-on transfers. For the little sugar bowl, I chose this flower, and I did have to kind of work it in sections since it is a rounded shape. I thought about painting the center of that oval tray, but I really liked the patina of both of these pieces. Let me know what you think. This last project is probably the biggest transformation. I found this wood basket crate, egg crate, something, kind of a country design on it, and I thought that we could do something a little bit more updated with it. Some of the paint seemed to be a little bit raised, so I did take it outside and I sanded it just a little bit so that my surface would be completely smooth. I'm using this beautiful blue color by Fusion called Champness. I'm painting it inside, outside, and all the little nooks and crannies. And here's proof that just a coat of paint can change everything. This rub-on transfer is called Rose Botanical, and I'm choosing some beautiful flowers out of this packet for each side of this piece. This transfer packet has all sizes of flowers for large projects, medium-sized projects like this one, and even smaller projects. I also chose some of the text that was at the bottom of each of these flowers that I'm going to add to two sides. So for this side, I chose this beautiful flower here, and I'm just going to place it where I want it and then use my transfer tool to rub on the transfer. Just look at the beauty in the detail of these flowers. Now I'm going to flip it over to that other side and add the other roses. Now I can go ahead and add the text to the other two sides. I decided to put it at the bottom. Once I had added the text to the opposite side, I went back with my little finger sander and sanded over all of the transfers so that they would be burnished into the wood, and I did not sand heavily. It was just a very light sand. And even though we have already done this with the backing sheet, this will actually make it look like it's painted onto the piece. These next stamps are actually from the spring release Apothecary stamps, and I'm just using this little detail piece to put at the top of the handle on both sides. And what a transformation this little folksy country egg basket has made. Don't forget to enter the giveaway. I have all the details in the description box below, and you have until the 16th to enter. Don't forget to stay tuned for the next video to see what the next creator has made. Here's another video I think you might like. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to share the chic. Bye now.